Hello and welcome back to my studio. I'm Devi Daly and we're going to do a Yin Yoga sequence to balance energy, focusing on the hips and the spine. And we'll have the poses held for 2.5 minutes with 30 seconds of rest. And you'll probably want to have a couple of blocks for this practice, or if you don't have blocks, you can use books. A small stack of books that's about 6 inches high will substitute for 1 block. Let's begin in Seiza and take our first 2.5 minute segment here. So sitting on the heels, or you can use your block to sit on top of, place the block or even 2 blocks in between your feet to sit on. And let your hands rest on your thighs or in your lap. Close the eyes, or feel free to keep the eyes open if you prefer, and take these first few moments to settle in, to feel your body, to touch into your breath. Appreciating the breath and noticing how the air feels and noticing how the air smells. And feel your spine inside of your body and how it rises up, not as a straight line, but as the beautiful curves that the spine is. The lumbar curve moving forward into the body, the thoracic curve be at the back of the ribs, moving backward, and the neck curve, the cervical spine, curving again forward, and how your head balances on top of all of this curvaceousness and all of this wonderful breath coming in and out. Relishing in it, savoring it. And if there's any stretches you'd like to take with your arms or even with your face, maybe a big yawn with your face, taking a big breath in, waking up through the heart, the shoulders, rolling the neck if that feels good. And now shifting into dragon pose. So come forward onto hands and knees. And then you can use your right hand in front of you. You can take your blocks under your hands if you want to use them here. So sometimes people like to use the blocks on either side of the foot or on the inside of the foot, or just do a dragon without blocks. Hands can be, again, on either side of the foot or on the inside. And you can go ahead and walk this front foot out as far as you'd like. You could dip into the left hip. So we're focusing on stretching into the front of the left thigh and the front of the left hip. And the dragon pose is, among the yin poses, one that people tend to want to move around in a little bit more. And so I say, if you want to move a little bit in your yin, then go for it. Move around a little, find the right angles, find the right stretch, or move in and out of that yummy stretch. I'm just thinking of this as an asymmetrical back bend. If you've got those blocks under your hands, you're able to maybe lift up a little higher, feel a little more back bend. And you might enjoy 1 or 2 blocks under your thigh, taking it into a supported dragon and freeing up the hands. It's one of my favorites. And now stepping back into downward dog, and you might enjoy using these blocks under your hands for your dog. So taking our 30-second break here, you could walk the legs out if that feels good, or just press the heels down. And now taking it to the second side, so drop your knees and left leg forward. Giving yourself permission in your yin pose today again to move around if it feels right, or just stay still if that's where your energy is. Sometimes our moving isn't so much fidgeting, but exploring and really feeling deeply, finding a better seat in the pose. And now slowly release, taking downward dog once again, or if you want to be more restful, child's pose would also be a wonderful choice right now. And now coming into a seated position for your choice of butterfly or dragonfly pose. So I'm going to take dragonfly pose. If you don't like dragonfly, butterfly will stretch the same target area. The groin, the inner groin is our main target area here. And if you like using blocks under your elbows or under your forehead, go for it. Certainly not necessary, but a lot of people seem to like to rest the elbows on blocks here. You could always sit up on a cushion, especially if you're in butterfly. slowly come up and rest in a seated position or any position you'd like to just take a few moments, a couple of breaths to feel the effects. And now coming into an outer hip stretch. So that was inner hips, now outer hips. This can be shoelace pose, knees on top of each other, or widen it up for square pose. Drop the foot for more of a cross-legged pose. We want to stretch the right glutes with the right foot's on top. And so as you come forward, which pose gives you a stretch in the glutes? Even if your knee is high, it doesn't matter if they stack or not. It's really just about whether or not you feel this stretch as you come forward. And you could angle your torso to one side or the other if that helps you find that stretch. And again, blocks under the elbows, forearms, or under the head, or whatever kind of propping you'd like to do here. And slowly release. Take your time, half a minute to transition slowly. Maybe let the spine just be in an upright position for 2 or 3 breaths. And change sides. And releasing, coming onto your back. Oh. Take a few breaths on the back, any comfortable position. Do some windshield wipers with the legs if that feels good. And now taking one of your blocks under your hips for supported bridge pose, otherwise known as Golden Gate pose. So I've got my block at the middle height. Sometimes people like it at the low height or at the higher height instead. And sometimes people like to do 2 blocks on top of each other. So choose your block height and rest into it. Your feet could be bent like this at the knees, or you could extend your legs forward. And your arms, take any angle that feels good, just what feels very luscious in your shoulders and your chest. And your legs can be as wide apart from each other as you'd like. Or you might like to have your legs a little narrower. If you haven't experimented with that, then try it out, narrow or wide. Definitely changes things. And slowly release. Lift the hips so the block can come out, and rest on your back. It might feel good after that to have the soles of the feet together, knees wide in Supta Baddha Konasana. And let the knees come in. And take it into spinal twist, both knees in and over to the right. So you could do 2 knees on top of each other, or you might like to have one knee crossing over the other. So when knees are to the right, usually it's left knee crossing over the right, though sometimes people like to cross the other way. Feel free to use your block or blocks under your knee, under your foot. Might feel nice to use the hands to help lengthen the neck a bit. I always end up doing this, just kind of taking my hands to the base of my skull and helping to suggest some length there. And release the twist. Bring the knees up to center. Pause at the center. Place your feet wide as your mat. Let your knees rest in against each other. And rest with the spine here at center, feeling what's happening inside after twisting to just that first side. And over to the second side, please. Back up to center and stretching out into your final relaxation position, star pose with the arms and legs spread out as far as you'd like, or you could have a bolster under your knees or any version of resting on your back that feels good right now. And now taking a big breath in to fill your belly, to fill your back, to fill your chest. And a big exhale through the mouth. And another inhale, filling the whole body. And absorbing and savoring the energy that's been stirred and awakened from this practice. Feeling the life force as it flows, as it makes itself known inside of this body. Whatever you're feeling, wherever you're feeling it, and however your breath is moving. How your body rests on the floor, how gravity is having its way with you, and how you can feel the places of contact, the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, the back of the hips, back of your calves. Feel all these places of connection to the earth. And you can stay where you are if you're not done resting yet, or join me and come up to a sitting position. And we'll place the palms together in front of the heart. And take one nice long Om. Inhale. That's our practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. And if you haven't checked out my membership site, it's where me and my community of yogis follow a daily schedule together, and there are special programs for beginners. There's Yin Yoga, there's Yang Yoga, and you can find out more about this at devidalyyoga.com. There's also a special offer in the first comment down below. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to my channel and check out my other yoga videos. And if you got this far, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I'd love to hear from those who take these practices with me. Thanks again. See you next time.